DOGMA. Oh my god. Okay, GG, well played. I thought I was actually on the game, but I wasn't. So I just missed the first 8 minutes, or you did, and you saw my stupid looking face. Apologies about that. RIP. Wait, what was the game showing, and maybe I changed the scene by mistake? I don't know, either way. Welcome to, being Stupid Imperium. Good job, good job. Thank you very much. I'm sure I got a few, notifications about that as well. But either way, yeah, you didn't miss much, guys. You didn't miss much, just a couple of kills. But now you can have a bit of an idea of how this game is panning out. Apologies again, it was definitely unprofessional of me, and I'll definitely try not to let that slip up happen again. DS, like I said, really on top of the Picado Hill. It's a risky position because as much as it provides a lot of elevation, it is still somewhat out in the open. Missile taking a couple of shots as he spotted out Sarah of Reject inside the McLaren. Now driving away, Reject going to be aware of that one. Phase 2 popped up and continued to shift a little bit down south, but it's centralized quite nicely, at least away from the northwest. So we have a beautiful, beautiful split north and south, to be fair, with that road in the middle. I love, I think it's Genesis Dogma's position. They rotated away from Tumasero off the back of their looting phase, and they have Church Compound as their own. Geek Fam reacting really quickly to that circle shift. ZEUS rotated quite deep, and now they're finding shots onto a team down below. In this case, it is Conqueror. Few shots in return will send ZEUS packing a little bit. On the hill to the eastern side of the circle, BTR still taking their time to rotate into this phase 2, as well as, I think, Ramsey of Myth, I think, had a bit of a connection issue, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. I'm still curious how long that, I really thought I changed scene, maybe, either way, I just need to get on with this game. Blacklist International being very cautious on their rotation, right, because that southwestern side would in no way, shape or form be home to anybody at this stage of the game because of how the playing path came about. The Xavier looking quite good on that western side outside of Monte Nuevo. And DRS, the Nepal Giants, now coming quite nicely into the circle, just a little bit down south of Power Good, where Geek Fam were located, I might add, and Geek Fam opted to go for a little bit more of a, centralized position now. Fajar does connect onto Reznov. Bit of a return as Rokas not only grabs the final blow onto the last player, Victim Sovers, but is able to get the revive onto his knocked teammate. Good play by Conqueror. 6 kills so far in this game for the European side. Scraped by in third, and some might say they underperformed in the MEA Championship, but hopefully a little bit of an evolution in their fortunes and time will allow them to just mature as a team as a whole and find their feet coming into the full split. Trying to deal with a bit of pressure as he gets to revive on Rokas. Reznov was unfortunately confirmed up, so nothing they can do about it, but no time to waste as Reeves is going to go in on the front line. Evos Reborn knocks down Azzy. Reeves is going to be the second victim, and Rokas, the last player up, looking to cook up an nade. We'll find that one, but nope, not going to be the case. Rokas actually ended up nading himself, and that's Conqueror. They may have taken down one Indonesian team, but another one comes in to say that there's only so much Indonesia you can handle, and they haven't been able to get the better of us. Great aggression by Evos Reborn, right? They knew they'd gotten a kill onto Reznov. They automatically knew they had the body advantage. If they had have allowed anything more to happen, some kind of reset for Conqueror, that could have gone against them. But what did they do? They took what they had and they turned it into a much bigger opportunity by being aggressive across the board. Really good stuff from them. DS continuing to play on that Picado Hill and try and plant the Korean flag on top of the mountain of Miramar. My lord. Still, Callaghan, the last player of ICARD, just being one with the rock, like a scarecrow in a field, hoping the crows fly away from the nest of the mountain that Callaghan holds on to. 46 players, 13 teams left. DS have absolutely no idea, and I mean absolutely no idea he's here. We should have GEEK family Evos Reborn start to tick at each other a little bit more coming into this next phase, because the blue zone is at least starting to close in of the third zone of this game. RQ as well on the northern side of the circle, feeling pretty good about their position, knowing that they don't really have to worry too much about what's going on like 90 degrees behind them, maybe 180 degrees behind them, but as they thread themselves up the mountain, there is a certain level of kind of uncertainty in terms of information, or therefore lack of information, that they have. Reject, I would argue, are too heavily split at this stage of the game. It feels like, to me, they should be covering a smaller area, but in a stronger way, whereas the too thinly spread will allow that veil to be pulled off, and they could get picked off one by one, while DRS rotating around on the western side, or at least Blacklist International rotating on the western side, not spotting out DRS. Mafia Ninja finds that one okay. Tyron to Mr. Borough will at least respond, but at the end of the day, AJ is there to find the last. Mafia Ninja on the KOs, and now it is just Keller that is left up with his teammate to try and hold on to this game. This split from DRS is tricky for them to really join up as a full squad, but they do have either side of this fight, so they are somewhat covering each other's back. Mafia Ninja might have to take a bit of a risk, but I wouldn't recommend he does it without knowing that his team has his cover in some way, shape or form. He needs to bait that Blacklist player away from the side of the mountain in some way, shape or form. The next phase popped up and it went over to the west. That's not good for DRS, right? Because the western side of the circle becomes more habitable. It becomes a bit more of a tipping point for teams to move to and position themselves, again, because of that playing path. The playing path, you got to understand, has so much more of an impact on teams' late game positions than you might think. Because as much as they have their drop spots, they're not limited to rotating just through from their drop spots. They can easily shift and rotate and value themselves in across this area. But Blacklist International, Tyra can't do anything really to help his teammate. The blue zone is going to be the death of him, knocked down at the hands, and DRS through the smokes, not taking too much of a risk, but they will at least confirm that kill. BTR, weirdish rotation through kind of the Picado hillside. Luxie's knocked down, Liquid Rising and Zuxi still up though. Myths also a bit of a weirder one themselves. They're down to just that one player. ICARD, is ICARD still alive? No, I think ICARD got spotted and taken out. Either way, last player, Blacklist, as far as I know, has been taken out. 11 teams left, 37 players. Reject. Remember what I talked about them being a little bit too heavily separated? Well, they did go for a rotation to that bit more of a northwestern edge of the circle. One of their players has been knocked down. Divine. Did he nade himself? Did he molly himself? I don't think so. I think it was just all another team that put a bit too much pressure on them. Nima, on the other hand, is not looking too good as the Xavier Rabas finds that one down on that western side, and another knockdown is played through. Reject will be aware of that, and the guinea pigs, the DRS are in this western edge of the circle, has allowed Reject to maybe shift a little bit more up north, but guess what? The Xavier are going to be looking for that one, plus RRQ on the Reject Scarlet. Boom, job done. What the hell is going on? It's all blown up on that western side. It seems think they're all going for the same big brain play, but when everybody is there, the fights start to commence. Reject still up as a two-man team, but RQ do have that body advantage. Leave it to Duello on his own in a 1v4. Lots of nades being pre-thrown across the board. The Xavier comes in on a third party. A double knock leaves Duello on his own. But you're taking your overs, Duello. Stay inside the smoke. Stay inside the smoke. Go for the revive onto your teammate. That's exactly what he's doing. But the Xavier, they're looking at this going, we don't care who it is. We don't care what team the body belongs to. We're looking for bodies. We're looking for kills. The circle on that last phase did shift up north, and DRS, I thought they were out of it. I thought they were out of it. In through the ashes, they rise above, and Mr. Burrow comes in to finish the job, finds one knock, but RQ get the revives up, in through the smoke. The M249 squad wiper finishes off DRS. So out of the 4 teams that were on the west, we're down to just 2. The Xavier and RRQ. Absolutely crazy, lovely return shots from Valdemort. Get a knockdown onto the Xavier. GEEK is at least holding on to a little bit of an anchor point inside this phase 5. Lamborghini is on the outside of the circle. He has to move his way in, but still, even though it is kind of phase 5, having someone on the outside of the circle can be kind of quite valuable to catch people out. The split from the Xavier is going to be a little bit tricky to deal with. Evos Reborn going up against GEEK Fam. This was, I think, 2 or 3 circles ago that said that these are going to clash. Snipes was already low in health. Well, he's being knocked down like a feather onto the ground and blown away by Evos Reborn in the southern side of this phase number 5. Miracle is the only one that's left standing for the Indonesian team, and he's outside the circle, so either way, shape or form, he's going to have to try and move and find his way in. We still have the battle down on the east, the mountains of Picado in play as DS. They've been here since pretty much phase 1. BTR moved in somewhat late. I questioned BTR's rotation, to be fair. And they've hit a bit of a brick wall. Luxie knocked down, but they still have that full squad up, let's be fair. But they're wasting a lot of utility, wasting quite a few smokes without any real reward, right? Yeah, they can still do something against GEEK Fam. They're covered from DS for the time being. Seeing the smokes, watching the warehouse in their favor, even a little bit of a sniper shot being fired through from BTR to try and push and hold back the members of Evo. Oh man, Microboy, he should be very well aware of how BTR played this game, I'll tell you that much. ZZP is going to be turned upon by liquid of BTR, flows his way into that knock with those shots being fired off. BTR now taking 2 fights at once, but here's the thing. Have they allowed Evos to get ahead of them and closer to the edge of the circle? That could spell trouble for them. I love the fact that DS opted to kind of pretty much forget about that fight, because BTR outside to keep a missile there and play for the next phase for a bit of a position and play as RRQ. Still going up against the Xavier, but they do have the better of them for the time being. Lamborghini 4-9 with that 4x. Woohoo! Spicy meatball flavors, BTR, and DS missile is knocked down. Zuxi is going to take that kill away, but Evos are pushed on to that fight to BTR, I think, by the Xavier a little bit as Ryzen is knocked down, tried to chuck up either a smoke or a nade, and in the end he got taken out in that time as Ryzen is trying to get revived up before the blue zone engulfs some Evos. Yeah, let's be fair, they're getting the better of this fight quite nicely. Okay, the one player from their team that's inside the circle is knocked down, but it is still something. He's yet to be confirmed up across this area. Still 5 teams, still 14 players, 23 minutes into the game. Slow it down a little bit as all of these teams have somebody in the circle. Four teams left. BTR taken out. They can't and couldn't deal with all the pressure around them, and it was either Evos or DS that got the better of them. RQ to Xavier, Evos Reborn, and DS. Valdemort is going to kick things off, getting a nice sweet knock for his side. Would he be able to turn that into, obviously, kills and map control as this circle shifts down to southeast? Valdemort will indeed finish sport off, leaving Satan on his own. Satan, let's see if he can beat the devilish Satan and poke the horns into the teams around him. Survival mode is on for the last player of DS, though, let's be fair. Hoping that the rest of the teams around them can distract each other. Lamborghini, you can see Evos Reborn going to punish them around this area on the southern edge of the circle. Evos feeling very healthy as two of the Evos players push up towards the edge of the reach side. Oh no, a little bit of a buffer in play. Hopefully that'll be able to be done. Bingo bango. Nice side angle being played out. Little bit of damage here, a little bit of damage there. Bish bash bosh. Kill played through. DS are out of the game, and we are left with our final two teams. The Xavier unfortunately crumbled in the end. Bit off more than they could chew. And RRQ and Evos Reborn, two Indonesian teams in the final two of Miramar. Microboy looting up, looking for a bit of extra utility here. Couple of grenades there. I think Evos are going to end up being choked out by the... actually, no, not by the body advantage. It's a clean 4v4. In terms of position, both teams hold on to kind of the northern edge of the circle, northeast and northwest respectively. But Red Face on the Valdemort hopefully will allow Evos to sweep on through and maybe be the aggressive that they need to be, but not before, unfortunately, Lyzerg is going to get knocked down in his own right and confirmed up by one of the RRQ players. So it is now 3v3. The kills are being traded. This is such a great finish to the game. Microboy looks to make sure that his health is ticking on up as he tries to find the angles to give that little bit of a juicy advantage. The opening for Evos to claim this chicken dinner in the second game of the day. Microboy finds Voldemort, but Mortal picks off Red Face. It's once again a trade on it. On halfway down on health, the M249 finishes the job, and RRQ claim the chicken.